going on, guys? Welcome back to the Good Success Podcast. I am your host, Josh Culler, and we got a different format today. I'm excited about this, though. We're going to be getting some Tom time. We used to have a tub in here.
Yeah, we had a tub in this room, so we thought about saying tub time with Tom, and that didn't go anywhere.
We didn't want to do that. That's why we got rid of the tub, so we didn't have that option. But anyway, so today, right now, we are Facebook Live, so if you are joining us live right now, we appreciate you jumping on. Make sure you give a lot of thumbs up, comment below, and then also make sure we're gonna be linking stuff below, so make sure you guys check out the descriptions as well. And then if you are on, make sure you're sharing it. Invite some friends.
Right now.
Invite some friends. He's inviting friends to this actual stream right now. We got a really good topic for you guys today. Something that we haven't visited in a while, but it's out there in the sphere right now of the good success sphere. I like that word, sphere. But Active Turnkey. So the Active Turnkey Model, the best way to buy rentals. So if you guys haven't noticed, me and Tom are holding this book right here. So let me show that off. So
this is a really good shot right there.
It's super dark.
There you go.
They got to get it in order to see it.
Yes, that's true. You have to get it.
So here's the situation. We're going to have Tom actually go through and talk about the Active Turnkey Model. He's going to give a lot of feedback on that and provide a lot of value to you guys on the best way to buy rentals. And I know that this talks about financial freedom as well, which is a huge topic for you guys as well. So make sure you pay attention. I'm going to let you know how you can actually get this book at the end of the podcast. So you have to join us all the way through. So make sure you join us all the way through in order to get this. We're going to make it available for you guys exclusively here. This is
Wait a minute. We're giving away these books?
For free.
What? How much is this going to cost me, Josh? You didn't tell me this.
It's not going to cost you anything, but on the operational end, it's going to cost me.
My goodness.
That's okay. We got it.
We're giving away free books?
Free books. It's happening here.
Okay.
If I had a stack of these next to me, they're all outside the studio. If I had a stack, I'd just throw them at the camera. But anyway, so we're going to tell you guys how you can actually get your hands on one of these at the end of the podcast. Again, this is kind of exclusive right now. It's not really something that we are pushing out just yet. We did have these available at the Irvine event for Think Realty, and that was the first time, literally they were hot off the press the day before we went to Irvine. And we gave those out exclusively for the Think Realty people in Irvine. So a few of you have it if you're listening and you were at Irvine. But we're going to make this available for you listening to the podcast right now. It's really the first time that it's actually a public.
So how can they get them?
Well, we're going to tell it.
Okay, later.
They have to listen to the entire podcast in order to get to it.
Okay.
So that's the hook for you guys. But before we get into the topic today, if you guys have not already, make sure you have subscribed to the Good Success Podcast. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. We have a lot of great episodes that are out there. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And then also, we do have a newsletter that goes out, and I'm going to have Kevin on the links right here. He's going to link below for you guys to be able to sign up for that newsletter. You get all the news for Good Success, so any events that we have, stuff like this when these become available. We have some t-shirts coming out very soon, and then also events that we're actually going to be at that we may not be hosting. So for instance, next month we'll be in Atlanta for Think Realty, which Tom is going to be a keynote speaker there, which is super exciting. And he's nominated for an award, a Think Realty Award. It's the Single Family Investor of the Year Award. So he's a nominee, or actually not a nominee, a finalist. Finalist.
So I don't know what they were thinking.
Right. So he's going to be there. So in that newsletter, you're going to be able to see all the stuff that we're attending, and you guys can connect with us that way. Kevin's going to link it below. And then we have our Good Success Mastermind, goodsuccess.com/mastermind or goodsuccessmastermind.com. Again, Kevin's going to link that below. But it's a community of real estate professionals that are killing it in their markets, and it's a tight-knit community. I'm going to have Tom talk about it here in just a second. But our next event is November 8, 9, and 10. That is in Miami, Florida at the Embassy Suites. It's not on the beach, but we are going to be adventuring out to the beach. So you guys, we're not going to miss that. But lots of networking going down, a lot of great value that's in there. The group is growing, so we're excited about it. And we have the next couple events already scheduled out. The first quarter in February, we're actually going to be in Dallas at Quest IRA's office, which is super exciting. Our good friends over at Quest, Quincy Long, hooked us up with that. So Tom, let's talk about the mastermind a little bit, and then we'll get into the topic for today.
Sure. So many of you guys out there are having problems scaling your business, or having problems getting yet you figured out how to do some deals, you figured out how to do 5, 10, maybe 15 deals a year, but in order to like scale to that next level, you've got to kind of help figure it out. And that's kind of what I think the mastermind's more about. The mastermind's more about helping people get from the 5-yard line to the 50-yard line. I can't tell you it's going to be the completion and everything that you ever need as in a mastermind. What I can tell you is it really does help you get to that next step. So if you're looking to be around a group of people that will encourage you and help you see things that you may not see in your business today. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, we start down this path, we learn how to wholesale, we learn how to fix and flip, and we know we're missing a piece of the puzzle. And that's what I think the mastermind really helps you get. It's almost like a 360 review. If you've ever done a 360 review, you get to do a 360 review on your business every single quarter. So as far as our Good Success Mastermind, what helps set us apart is number one, charity. Number one, like love and trying to lead with love and being mindful and careful about what we say, what we do, making sure that we're doing the right thing. We're living a life that is not just maybe giving. It's not just giving to somebody, but it's the way we live. It's that work to have to give mentality and that mindset. Having a purpose in life more than to just sit at the end of your life with money and sitting at the beach. I mean, if you think about it, if a gallon of water just sits for a while, what happens? It rots. And I think a lot of people think of success that way. They just want to have a bigger bucket so that they can, and what they don't realize is the bigger bucket just turns into more rot and more waste. And I don't want to be that way. And our Good Success Mastermind focuses on how you can work to have to give and how you can use what you do in your life every single day to not just help that person that you're providing the value to, but help yourself and then also help somebody else. It's about being that conduit. Stewardship, doubling what you have. Community, be present, participate, and be an encouragement to one another and growing every single day. So every single time I want to hear from all the mastermind members what they learned this last quarter, and also we hold them accountable to the things that they promised they were going to get done this last quarter. So that's what the mastermind's all about. It's to help you solve that one biggest issue. Where if you solve that one issue in your business in the next quarter, like it would tip over dominoes and they would help so many other issues happen in your business. And that's what the mastermind's all about.
Absolutely. And then along with that community thing, so I actually just got off the phone with about 15 of our members. I still got some calls scheduled out with the rest of them. But every single one of them said the networking is like the thing. That's that one thing that like these guys have done deals together during the networking time that paid for the actual mastermind, like the membership fees and all that. And that's absolutely huge to everybody in the room because we don't have just, everybody's from different markets, but they can all do different deals with each other. I know that we have a deal going down the pipe right now with somebody in our mastermind, which is huge. So that's definitely a big part of the community aspect, the core value that we have there for the mastermind.
And these guys aren't beginners, so you have to understand, the network that's in the room isn't even just their network. For instance, Quincy Long's is our mastermind. He owns Quest. Their network is vast and massive and huge. Eddie Wilson's in our mastermind, who is the CEO of Think Realty, Affinity, NREG, like 87 companies. It's insane how many companies he runs. Walter Wolford has 1,800 people that go on different trips with him throughout the year, and I can go on and on and on and on about the people that are in the group that actually carry with themselves their own network.
Yeah.
It's a multiplication of networks. It's not just one-on-one that you might get from a mentor, which I do believe in, but it's that multiplication of being able to see things from many different perspectives, many different people. I mean, we have all walks of life, from like older in life to younger in life, all walks in life in business, from just starting out to, I've been in business for 3 years, and when I started the mastermind, I just quit my job, and now I'm doing 7 figures in real estate, and really attributed a lot of that back to the mastermind. To other people that have been in marketing for years and doing 500 plus deals a year, like Mo Matthews. I mean, there's so many people in the mastermind that you want to be a part of, and you want to be a part of their network.
I look at network as so you have your circle. So Tom's here and he has his circle. and then he may know like a Jim Ingersoll or somebody like Mo Matthews you mentioned, and then he has his network, and his network spills into your network. And it's so funny when we go to events and stuff like that. We had our community go-giver event, and everybody knows each other in some way, shape, or form, even if they've never even shaken each other's hands, because of the network that you have that spills into other people's networks, and especially in the mastermind. So
that's what we're trying to build with the community go-giver event.
Absolutely.
This, like, whatever you're doing is affecting one of your communities, whether it's your family or your church or the place that you live, that community, or your workplace. It's all about those communities that you're trying to affect. And I want to be the biggest conduit I can possibly be to be able to help have the biggest impact on the most people I can possibly have on positively. It is an easy, lazy man's game to think about all the negative things that happen in life, and it's a harder man's game to think about how to make them better, and how do I improve myself, how do I raise my capacity so I can go serve more people.
And that's a perfect segue into the Community Go-Giver event, which we already have the days for, June 26, 27, 28 of 2019. We're super excited about that. The past event that we had a couple months ago, has it been a couple months now? It's like a month and a half or so. That we had our first Community Go-Giver event in July, and so that was exciting. But we already have tickets available, pre-sale tickets available for next year's event. One ticket is $6.99 or $6.97 or something like that, and then for two seats, man, I can't talk. For 2 seats, it is $9.99. So you guys go purchase those. Kevin has the links below. So for the mastermind, so goodsuccess.com/mastermind, and then the Community Go-Giver event is communitygogiver.com, which again, we have tickets available for pre-sale already right now. We're already working on the speaking lineup. I don't know if we're going to give away anything just yet.
I can give some names. No, honestly, I have an amazing lender who has an amazing story that's done probably the most deals that I know countrywide. He's one of the largest lenders.
He's number 12.
Countrywide to do investor loans for owning rentals, which is perfect. A lot of my active turnkey buyers who have done this program are using Aaron as their lender. So he's going to be there to speak on how to help with that. Jim Ingersoll is going to come back and speak again. I have some Ken Lacey's going to be back with us talking about Veterans Path Up, and by then I'll actually have my own chapter of Veterans Path Up in here in Gary, Indiana. So we'll be working on a Veterans Path Up. Probably one of the days we'll go out and actually see what's going on with that Veterans Path Up and how we're helping the community and how we're helping that veteran with that. Off the top of my Carol Ellis, which was kind of a surprise. She wasn't really on the speaker panel last time, and she just came in and she did an interview with me about my vision about flipping the city of Gary, and it probably turned out to be one of the better surprise.
That interview was on the stage in front of everybody. By the way,
it was really good, and it went really, really well. And she's gonna be back again to do something similar to that. Super, super excited about that. I've got some other people that I'm waiting to get the cat out of the bag because they got to get back to me on their schedules and whatnot. But we're going to do the same thing as we did last year. 3 days. 1 day is going to talk about fix and flip. Jeffrey Taylor's somewhat confirmed. I think he's going to be there. Linda Lipatori is also going to talk about how she can help you guys with your own rentals. If you want to be able to manage them yourself to a certain degree, she has a really good program for that. Josh Belk talking about proper accounting in your business or in your real estate business or your rentals and balance sheet and all that stuff.
Which that's a lot more interesting than you might think it is.
Well, even if it's not interesting, it's something that you better know. And if you don't know, you better make sure that you figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you're out there trying to figure out who should I go to be able to get loans for my rentals, or how do I find better contractors, or how do I acquire houses, those are the questions that will be answered in this meeting. Not to mention the networking event. So fix and flip the first day, rentals the second day, third day will be low income housing of some sort. We'll focus probably a lot on Veterans Path Up that day as well. We have a community go-giver spot each day as well, and we go out and look at houses every day. So that gives you more networking time. You get to see kind of what we do. So a lot of our turnkey buyers will be there. A lot of our active turnkey buyers will be there. A lot of our lenders will be there. And the local network is really. I actually confirmed yesterday. Adrian Shabbat, local here from Northwest Indiana, one of the guys that I helped mentor a little bit when he first started. It was awesome. I got to buy a couple of his first wholesale deals. And he's
literally messaging him this morning to get him on the podcast.
He's awesome. So Adrian and Justin have a great business in this area, but they created a really good local meetup group. And I want them to talk about how they created it and what benefits it's had to them, and kind of some of the challenges that they've had. So it's gonna be amazing. Like, I hope we can fit the people here next year. We're still planning on having it in our office in June, and we only have 80 seats, so we're hoping that can still happen. But if we sell too many, maybe we'll have to go somewhere else. Not sure yet.
Maybe we'll have to go somewhere else. We'll make it happen. So communitygogiver.com, you guys can check out the recaps from this past event, and then also get your pre-sale tickets before prices go up at some point. We haven't even established that yet because it is so fresh. But you can buy your tickets already, so a lot of great information. So there's a couple links below. Make sure you check those out. Let's get into the topic for today. So Active Turnkey, the best way to buy rentals. Again, stick around because we're going to tell you how you can actually get your hands on one of these physical books written by Tom. This is Tom's first published book, which is awesome. So a lot of great information that's in this. I've read it a couple times to get familiar with it. So it talks about financial freedom, the 5 wealth generators, safer with more controls, the Active Turnkey program. So a lot of great content in here. Tom, I'm going to kind of let you take it away. I'm going to pipe up with some questions every once in a while you're actually talking about it. So what do you have for us today?
Well, first of all, I kind of want to go way back in my life and talk about kind of how this came about and how it really how this is why I believe that we were all put on this earth for a purpose, and how I believe that everything that happens in your life happens for a purpose and happens for a reason. You know, there's a statement that says God doesn't work without purpose or plan. And I think to myself, if God doesn't work without purpose or plan, why don't we work without purpose or plan? And I believe that we should all have that purpose-driven life, that purpose every single day. Every day you ought to wake up and say, what's my purpose of living today? And so that kind of is why I want to go back. Can I tell you where we came up with this and how this really came about? I grew up in construction. So I started working in construction when I was 12 years old. I read a book when I was 12 called I read Think and Grow Rich, which if you've read Think and Grow Rich, you kind of understand where we also have the talks about masterminding, because that's kind of where masterminding came. Later on in my life, 19, 20-ish years old, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So those two books kind of like catalysts and kind of like really changed my direction in life. Bought my first rental when I was 20 years old, and kind of just worked in construction for a while. And worked in construction, started my own side business. I'm really excited about business. Like, I love real estate, don't get me wrong, but business for me, the people aspect probably excites me more than even real estate does. But since I got married young, when I was 20 years old, and I just had I worked in construction full time, had this side business where I always had work, and in 2006, all of a sudden everything came kind of crashing down. And if you worked in construction, you know that, and you knew that, hey, 2006, like, it wasn't 2008 when the market really crashed. It was 2006. It just took 2 years for everybody else to understand how bad things were. But in 2006, I went from making about $100,000 a year, 6 figures, pretty comfortable life. Just bought a new house in Crown Point, and we just had a kid. And overnight, you could just feel that it just all the air just went out, like, immediately. Somebody popped the balloon in the construction market, at least, which I think was kind of like the tipping point of what actually made the economic crisis happen. But overnight went from making 6 figures to like 20 grand. I mean, I can still remember me and my wife got paper routes. Me and my wife did whatever we could possibly do. I started making phone calls. Lost my job, not because the guy fired me for any reason, just didn't have work. I mean, our work just dried up. And we had paper routes. I was working as much as I could for this guy when he did have work, but we kind of just knew he was gonna die soon. And I started making phone calls because I had never done that before. I never made phone calls. I had never gone out and tried to find work. I had always just been the person that just people called me because I did good work, and people just kept calling me back, and they would tell their friends, and then they'd tell the paint store, and the paint store would give my information out, and Lowe's and Home Depot and all those different places. Called one guy, and the one guy gave me a job. And I said, okay, this is cool. About a week-long job. Worked out pretty well. I did 2 things that the guy had never seen before. I got the job done on time, and I got the job done on budget. What a program.
Put together that
Yes.
they'd never seen that before?
Yeah,
Okay.
they'd never seen it before, and I was just like, okay, well, I don't know what the deal is, but this is what we do. So immediately, starting that next week, he then made me the project manager for all of his rehabs, and he was doing about 3 at a time. And in between 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, like there was always projects in this area that we could always find cheap enough to be able to put rehabs in them and sell them retail and be able to make money as an investor. So that's what he was doing. He was helping the investors find the projects, and I was basically getting them rehab. And then the owners were finding realtors, and they were selling these projects. And so we did pretty well. I mean, really, we were doing really well for him. I had proved myself for him, and within 6 months, I was 50-50 partners with this guy. This guy was kind of a rash. He made some rash decisions. He really, like, major rash decisions in his life. So if you can think about that, he gave me 50% of his business within 6 months of me working for him. And I had made that much of an impact on his business, and we were making money. It was doing really well. And then 6 months later after that, so I've only been with this guy for like a year, he decides he's going to leave. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I am back to square one again. What is going on? Like, I just went through this with my family and you know, not having money. What am I going to do? So what I decided to do was, hey, I looked at what he was doing, and I said, what if I do what he's doing plus whatever I'm doing, and let's just put it all together. I was already working with his investors, and I already knew what they wanted. I was even starting to vet their properties at the beginning because I was giving them scopes of work to do the rehabs at the beginning before they even bought the houses. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know how to do this,
Yeah.
right? You know, so what I did is I went to these 3 investors and I said, hey, I don't know what your plans are, but if you will give me a shot, I will prove myself to you. And I told them, if you will let me all I want is the rehab, but if you will, I will help you find houses that work for your criteria. You tell me what your criteria is, and I'll help you find the houses. We'll buy them together, and then I'll do the rehabs. And not only will I do the rehabs, I'll also help you get utilities turned on. I'll do all that beginning work. I'll get you scopes of work before you even close on the property. I will. I'll let you know exactly what it's going to cost. I mean, sometimes extras come up. Sometimes you open up walls and you find things. But for the most part, like, I was very tried and true to the numbers I gave these people. And then I have some great realtors, and I know these realtors at the end will help you sell these properties. And 2 of the investors were actually out of state, and 1 guy was local, and that's kind of what I was doing. So for the next 3 or 4 years, that's what I did. That's all I did full time. Is I was going out looking for houses for these guys. I was making sure the rehabs were done. I was on those houses every single day. I was ordering materials, making sure the materials were there, getting guys set up, helping them as much as I possibly could, as much time as I possibly could use to help them. I remember working 60, 70 hours a week for a long time, doing that for them. It happened about 4 or 5 years, and then hooked up with a man named Wayne Schaefer. And at that time, like, these rehabs, these investors had kind of started to fizzle out, and things were it was fine. I did about 100 rehabs for investors over that period of time. I didn't realize the value I was bringing to them. And if you could find a contractor that will help you find houses and help you rehab the house and they help you get it sold, like, I'll do it. So if you guys are out there and you guys are contractors and you want to do that, I'll let you have the work. I promise. But what I didn't realize was the value I was giving to those investors. I probably should have been asking for 50-50 splits, honestly, for all the work that I was doing for them. But to me, that's okay. To me, that's okay because I had a skill that God gave me. I was working to having, and I was giving as much as I could back to them. And I believe that you reap what you sow, and I believe that that'll all come back to me at some point in time in my life. But what I did next was I kind of started wholesaling with Wayne, and we started this. We were working hard, and we wholesaled about 1,000 houses in about a 5-year period of time. 1 year we actually wholesaled 300 houses in the same year, and I kept this construction company going. I just kept it going on the side to a certain degree. And when me and Wayne started, we was about a $500,000 a year company, and I actually grew that to a $500,000 a year business while working with Wayne, and actually started putting in systems in place and making that all happen. But we developed a program over that time, which is kind of what really helped our business as well, which was the Active Turnkey program. And the Active Turnkey program goes back to those days when I was helping those investors find the properties. And it's the exact same process. So if you know what BRRRR is, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. That is what Active Turnkey is. And there's tons of people out there that sell turnkey rental properties where they buy them, they fix them up, they rent them, they sell them. And we do that as well. I think that there's a lot of value in that. I mean, if you have $200,000 or $300,000 and you're trying to invest and you can leverage all that money and you can buy 8 or 12 rentals all at once, you can build a portfolio really quick and start paying those down. You can become financially free very fast doing doing regular turnkey. But Active Turnkey kind of puts all the leverage points you can possibly put into a deal in your wheelhouse. So if I can help you find a house for, let's just put some numbers to this game. If I can help you find a house and sell it to you for $60,000 and it needed $20,000 worth of work, and you could then go and refinance that property for $100,000 and it appraises for $100,000. Well, you could pull out between 75 and 80 grand. I mean, some lenders are actually letting you pull out 80% right now. So you can pull out almost all that money, and then you can go and do it again. So yes, you can go out and figure out how to do this all yourself. But I thought to myself, hey, what value would that give? What value would that bring to my investors if I could do that for them? If I could produce those numbers for them, I would be like in high demand. And we are. We have over 600 people on our Active Turnkey list. And honestly, like as soon as we send out a deal, the Active Turnkey deals sell instantly. Like if you get on our list, and if you're lucky enough to be on our list, and you get an Active Turnkey deal, it will be gone within a day. So you better check your email. That's just the way it works with Active Turnkey, because that's how much value this program brings. And in my opinion, like if you can find that person that you can trust, it doesn't have to be me. If you can go find somebody else that will help you find a house that you can get it purchase plus repairs for 80% less than what it will appraise for down the road, it is gold. And I believe if you will just do 2 of these a year, so one every 6 months, you'll do 2 of these a year for 10 years, you'll have 20 rental properties. And a lot of people that we have worked with are already financially free just because they did this program. And I can name 7 or 8 of them right off the top of my tongue that have used this program, and they're completely financially free now. And a lot of it comes because of this. Not only that, I mean, I don't even talk about how much money the houses have raised in value. That's like icing on the cake.
That's one of the 5 wealth generators.
Well, yes. I mean, it's amazing. And you might think, well, maybe we're at the top of the market right now, but I just don't believe that. I just believe that we're going to soften, and maybe it'll go down a little bit. But it's just not. It's just the Midwest where I live. In 2009, for instance, when the house values dropped in Lake County, they went from an average of 168 to 159,000. If you're in boring markets, you don't have to worry about that as much. You know, if you're in California and your prices have gone to $1 million from $300,000, well, I understand why you're afraid. But in my market, that's just not how it is. You know, we've seen our houses raised from a retail value in some of our turnkey markets, which are great areas, by the way. Like I go to some other turnkey markets, and they tell me that they're C and B properties, and I'm like, no, these are D and C properties, what I would consider. These are properties I would send my wife to go collect rent at night. That's where we do our Active Turnkey. These are B-class neighborhoods, maybe C a little bit, but even those ones in my market are safe neighborhoods, and decent schools and good places for people to live, bedroom communities. I think that Active Turnkey is the best way to buy rentals, because you're not going out and finding the deals yourself. Somebody else is doing all the work for you. You're using somebody like me to be able to help you become financially free. And going back to that illustration with 2 a year for 10 years gives you 20 rentals. And if you start using the snowball method to pay off that first one first with all the rents, I believe most people can become financially free in 15 years or less. And I think you can even do it faster. What normally ends up happening is they start getting into this program and they start seeing how it works, and they do 1 or 2 the first year, and then the next year they do end up doing 8 or 9. Yeah. And it really snowballs even faster to get to that number that you have to get to. And that's kind of, I don't talk about just the program in this book. I think it's more important for you to understand that there needs to be a purpose, a reason why you're going to have financial freedom. I mean, to me, If it was just about financial freedom, I'd be done. I wouldn't be in front of you. I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I wouldn't be doing all the work that I do and employing all the people that I employ. I'd be done. Making the money, being financially free, in my opinion, is easy. It's more about why you want to do it and why do you want to have why do you want to have financial independence. And I think that's kind of where I start with this, is financial freedom. And then why do you want to have financial freedom? But then are you going to get there? And in my opinion, rentals is one of those ways that I would suggest that you get there. There's definitely other ways that you can get there. You can do lending, you can do business, you can do other types of investing, but in my opinion, like, everybody should have a portion of their portfolio in single family rentals in the United States. It is, if you listen to Warren Buffett, if you like him at all, like, he's never been a real estate guy ever. He's always been, a business guy. And what he say, 7 or 8 years ago, if I could manage all this, if I could do this, like, this is the single point, like, I would invest in single family rentals because of how the whole makeup of the United States is changing today.
Absolutely. So we had Forrest Bryant on a podcast, I believe it was either last week or the week before, and he talked about passive income and having multiple streams. And he even mentioned, like, if you have less than 2 streams of income, you're in trouble or whatever. So when it comes to this model, does that work per asset that you have? So then per asset that you have, that's, if you have 5 assets, that's 5 income streams coming in.
It is. Absolutely.
And then you mentioned it's snowball effects. So maybe talk about the importance of, I know that you talked about the purpose that you have for financial freedom, but maybe more specifically passive income, because I think this is a topic that a lot of people don't get into. So why is passive income so important, and how can people leverage this model, whether it's they're the one that's structuring the deal or the one that's the investor in the deal?
Well, it doesn't matter where you're at in life. It doesn't matter if you're at the beginning or at the end. It would always be better or easier to be able to do what you really feel like you're here on earth to do if you had automatic income. So to me, whether you call it passive, active, whatever, like, if it was automatic income, so if you think about a cash machine where it just automatically spits out cash, and I don't care if it's a rental or if it's a business or if it's a loan that you do, like, I love lending as well. For me personally, I have 3 main buckets that I consider are my financial freedom plan. So you might only say I have 3 streams of income, but in each one of those buckets, there's multiple streams in those.
Sure.
And it's what I know. As Warren Buffett also said, don't invest in something you don't know, invest in things you know.
Right.
So get to learn about this before you go in and invest in it. We're actually considering even making people go through an online course program about Active Turnkey before they even get to buy an Active Turnkey, just so I know that they're for sure educated. So know something about it first. And then invest in it and invest your time, invest your talents, your skills, and your money into those things. I think it's very important to have passive income, multiple streams of active and passive income. I think if you just have a job, I believe that you're just over broke. It doesn't matter. Like, if that's your only stream of income, you don't have any security blanket, you don't have nothing to fall back on. And I know people, I've seen people over the years. I talked to a guy yesterday, he's coming to our mastermind, he's 63 years old, and like, he had a major downturn in his life, and if he didn't have real estate, like, would have been bankrupt. Like, real estate's always something that you can come back on, and real estate is also something that over the long haul is always going to increase in value. People need a place to live. As far as the importance to have multiple streams of income, like, I can just tell you it's important. I don't know. I
well, you said it at the beginning.
I just can tell you, like, you have to have multiple streams of income, and it doesn't have to be real estate. I'm not saying it has to be real estate, but I believe real estate is one of the ways that either very wealthy people become more wealthy, or it's how a lot of people actually create wealth.
Awesome. So specifically with this book, what could people, I know we've talked a lot about the Active Turnkey Model and how it even got started. What can people expect in this book to learn? So what are you going to learn in this book?
So if you're out there and you're like, well, how do I create a financial freedom plan? I mean, that's the very first part of this, is like, how do you actually go about creating a financial freedom plan? That's in the book. the actual program and how it actually works. And if you're not going to use us, like if you're going to use us, then I can tell you you're going to get what's in the book. But if you're going to go use somebody else to help you do Active Turnkey, and if they're calling it Active Turnkey, just remember I have trademarked the term Active Turnkey, so they're pirating my Active Turnkey model.
We'll catch you.
But anyways, you're going to learn about that. You're also going to learn again like how the 5 wealth drivers in real estate. And it kind of really explains that, and you know, like people sometimes only think about the cash flow, but they don't remember that, you know, the house is appreciating. They don't remember that they're also leveraging a bank that's giving them basically free money at this point. I mean, even at 6%, which I think most of our loans are now about 5.2, 5.3, even at 6%, if you look at this over 30 years, you're basically getting money free. Aaron Chapman, one of the lenders I was telling you about, you know, the way he explains real estate investing is if you put out $20,000 to buy a $100,000 house, like a lot of people talk about your cash on cash return. He thinks what he says is like the only money you're really spending is your closing costs. It's like that's it. That $20,000 that you put out in real estate, you still have. You just have it.
We'll be talking about that next week.
You have in the form of equity. You know, so that's a great, you know, for leading up to.
We'll be talking about that next week.
Watch Aaron next week, but you have that money in the property. So you know, think to yourself, like if you invest in a company, it can go to zero. You can lose it all. And even if you loan a deal, like if you loan on a deal, that property might still be worth. You have to go out and back and get that property, if you do that as security collateral. But when you're buying a property, even if you pay full price in cash, you pay $100,000 for a $100,000 house, like that house is still worth that $100,000. You didn't lose anything. Everything you gain is infinity investment. You're gonna get it back. And in real estate, the other thing that people, I'm not sure that you talked about this in the book, but the other thing that I think is the bigger deal about real estate is not the deal itself. It's not when you buy the deal. It's not when you start making payments. It's that 5 years down the road. Like you start looking at the amortization schedules and how much money you're actually gaining in equity every single month. The whole game starts changing, and it's normally not the deal that makes you wealth. It's normally the deal after the deal. And sometimes it's the deal after the deal after the deal after the deal. You know, for instance, I'm right now in the middle of selling a property I paid $120,000 for 7-8 years ago, and I have sold this, kind of selling it, rent to own 3 times. So 3 times somebody gave me an option deposit, 3 times somebody rented this house for a period of 2 or 3 years, and 3 times they didn't buy.
Didn't go out, yeah.
So, I mean, so again...
But you're okay with that, right?
Well, if I would have sold it to one of these buyers, their options were anywhere from $145 was the first one, $155 was the second one, and $165 was the last one. I'm going to now sell this for $199. So, like, it's the deal after the deal that really makes the difference in real estate.
And that requires long-term thinking.
Yes. You can't think like a wholesaler. You can't think like, I got to find another deal so I can sell another deal so I can find another deal so I can sell another deal. What is that? Just a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah.
And that is a job. I'm not against wholesaling. Don't get me wrong. I think wholesaling is a great way to think about real estate. But in my opinion, the long term is where it's at. The long term thinking in your business, in your life, in your mind, body, soul, all that. You think about that. Like, don't think about like, am I going to eat this candy bar? If you think about it today, you'll be like, I want the candy bar.
Yeah.
But if you think about like, how is my body going to treat me in 20 years from now? Like, you might not eat that candy bar. Like, am I going to take this drink right now? You know, like, okay, I think it makes me feel good. I'm going to drink. Okay, well, how is that going to really affect you in 10, 20, 30 years? You're going to smoke cigarettes. Like, if you think about it right now, if it's short term, then it's yes. If it's long term, it's heck no. I am not smoking the cigarette.
Yep.
Am I going to do my push-ups today? Am I going to walk today? All those things, like, it doesn't matter if it's your mind, your body, your soul, your finances, your business, your rentals, like everything, in my opinion, ought to be looked at in a long-term, even eternity. Like, think about eternity, for instance. Like, the longer the term that you can think, the bigger, the wider that you can expand your brain, the better off you'll be in the long run.
A really good book that could back that up is The Compound Effect by Darren
absolutely.
Hardy, which is one of my favorite books right now. I absolutely love it. Chapter 5 is, oh my goodness, so good. But that talks a lot about like even what he just mentioned, and I think that a lot of people miss the long-term thinking part of it, which is a big mistake when it comes to this. So
yeah, we sometimes always find, I shouldn't say always, we sometimes find ourselves thinking short term and thinking, short term excitement for long term garbage.
Yeah.
And we ought to be thinking is short term sacrifice, long term gain.
Awesome. Yes.
And always be thinking for the long haul.
Absolutely. Love that. Anything else we want to talk about with this book, or are we just going to make them get it?
No, they can. I guess if you're going to give away this book, I'm thinking to myself, how much money is this going to cost me? But you guys better read it. If you're going to get this book, the only thing I want you to promise me is that you're going to read it. And you're going to subscribe to the podcast, and you're going to join the mastermind, and you're going to come to the Community Go-Giver event. Anything else we need to require of them if they're going to read this book?
That's a lot of commitments.
All right, okay. Can you just read the book?
I think let's just start with reading the book.
All right, so if you want this book, you need to give us your email address, and we can converse email back and forth to you, and we can figure out how to get you the book. But for right now, I don't think we have this.
Yeah, so there's actually two things that you can do. Number one is leave a comment below and just say, I want the book or something like that, or give it to me now, whatever. We will message you, get your email address, and then we'll get this out to you.
Can I get a free book?
I can give you an entire box if you want.
If I put put my thing in there, can I get it?
Yeah, do it right now.
Okay.
Try it out.
So, all right.
So you can do it that way. So leave a comment below and just say, I want the book or something like that. We'll message you, get the email address, and then your mailing address as well. We'll send you a physical copy of this. And then the second thing that you could do is actually go to our Facebook page. Make sure you give us a follow, give us a like on the page, but then message us and say, hey, I want the book. And then we'll get it out to you. We'll get all the information we need to get this book out to you. Pretty soon, we're going to actually have a portal where we'll make it available so on the website that you can actually go to the website and purchase it that way. And that it'll be a free plus shipping offer. We'll send you this along with a couple of other small minuscule things that you can have with that. So that's the way it's going to happen. So leave a comment below, and then if you do know people that would be interested in something like this, tag them and say, hey, listen to this podcast. I think this is something that would be very beneficial to you. And then it's a free book, guys. Like, you can't go wrong with it. Like, free book. We'll send it out to you. We got a lot of great content.
We don't need to mention it anymore. No more free books. So like, you don't. Yeah, we're done.
We only have a certain amount.
I don't know if I want to give away a free book.
Well, it's already out there, so we're live right now.
Okay, we're giving away a free book.
This is a limited
Josh is gonna make me go broke.
This is a limited time offer because it's a book launch.
Josh is going to be fired for this. If this doesn't work,
you guys are going to have a new host.
Fired.
You guys are going to have a new podcast host. So anyway, that's all we got for you guys today. It's exciting stuff. A lot of great content that Tom just talked about. Really a precursor to the actual book that we have here. So the Active Turnkey book, the best way to buy rentals. Leave a comment below saying, I want one. We'll reach out to you. Or you can even message us on Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I want one of those books. Make sure you send it out to me. We'll get some information for you from you and then actually send the book out. So that's what's going to happen. So you guys make it happen. Leave comments below, give some thumbs up, and then also tag people that you think would be interested in this. Tom, anything else you want to mention before we leave the show today?
Well, you know what I always say. Work to have to give and be a conduit, not a bucket.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. However you listen to podcasts, just go look for Good Success on those platforms. You'll find us. Give this video a big thumbs up, leave comments below, share it around. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.